use something like, you know, that I don't know, that tubing for cables or whatever. Do whatever you want down there. But at least you don't have cables running from all the way up here that you've got to route down and hide or whatever. It just cleans it up, makes it look kind of nicer. So I think that's the steering wheel mount. So let's move on now to the pedal tray. The pedal tray is also pre-drilled for those same major off-the-shelf controller manufacturers. For the ones I mentioned before, I can't pull it off right now because it's bolted in. But from other pictures on our site, you'll see how it's pre-drilled. And we went ahead and pre-drilled it in slots also. Because, you know, some people like to kind of slide their pedals one way or the other, especially if they have a 3-pedal set. They're racing mostly formula type cars or clutchless cars, whether it be paddle shifters or sequential shifters. So they're mostly working their brake and throttle pedals. So you might want to slide the pedal set over a little bit. There's quite a bit of room in here now. I think this pedal tray, the width of it is around 47, 48, 49 centimeters. Any pedals will fit in here, no problem. But we made those slots for the hard mounting slotted, so you can actually shift it right or left. You know, up to, the slots are about that wide. So there you go with that. Then the pedal tray is also tiltable up and down. Right now it's in its highest position. I find that most comfortable for me with most pedal sets. But there's, I think, what, 1, 2, 3 settings, plus getting rid of the pedal tray altogether and resting your pedals just on your carpet if you want. If that's what you want to do, or some aftermarket pedals that come with their own stands, you can just put them in there. Just remove the pedal, don't install the pedal tray at all. Pedal tray also, is the most important thing, is it's fore and aft adjustable up to almost 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters. So, you know, I'll do it in another video to talk about race driving positions because it's more appropriate for that. But for just general cockpit use, we talked about an ergonomic seating position in relationship to your keyboard and mouse earlier. But for your feet, it's better to have your feet up, the bottoms of your heels up higher. For me at 6'2", this works. But you know, when I use my cockpits for things other than sim racing or flight sim, I usually slide my seat all the way back. I get really freaking comfy. You know, I slouch. Call that ergonomic or not, but hey, I'm never sore. Sitting at a desk using a computer more than an hour, something's sore. I sit in a cockpit like this, either browse the internet, do emails, work, do shooter games for like 8 hours straight, only getting up to go to the restroom, and I'm never sore. So however you want it, but you want to get this, you want to set your pedal tray anywhere from those. See, right now it's all the way up to the front holes it's mounted. You can bring it back to where the back holes is mounted right here. Basically you have from here all the way to here in adjustability to bring this thing, the rear bolt back. That's around 20 centimeters, which is a lot. It's a lot. So no matter your height, you can get your heels wherever you want them to be. I suggest as high as possible because you want your legs out in front of you as much as you can. And you'll be comfy and cozy and good to go. Last thing, that's the pedal tray. Last thing I'll cover is well actually, real quick, the shifter mount. Shifter mount can be used for different things. It can hold a can of snus, which today is O2 by Swedish Match. It's usually Onyx. But it can hold a drink. I have a bottle of beer right here. It can hold a shifter for sim racers, which is important. It can be mounted on either side. It can be mounted further back, one setting further forward. It can be mounted a hair higher if you want it. But right now I think the height it is really good. In another video I'll go into that in more detail. But for all the other uses of this cockpit, you can either use it or you can take it out and not use it. I usually leave mine in just because they can be used for other things like cup holder or whatever. So I'll leave that there for now. Now, on to the last thing is the monitor stand. You know, through years and years of selling cockpits to replace desks, we've had some people, actually we've had varying schools of thought we've heard from different genres of games. Some people like their monitors right in their face. I don't really understand that, but we wanted to make this cockpit to where it could do everything people wanted. We also have people using 50+ inch TV monitors on their cockpits, and we wanted them to be able to scoot it far enough away so they don't go blind or so it's not abnormally huge right in their face. So what we did is we made this separate monitor stand that goes all the way to the floor. You can basically position this anywhere you want, fore and aft. If you're using a 60-inch TV on this, you can push it back as far as you want. If you're using, this is a 23-inch monitor right here. For me, it's actually fine right there. But if you want it closer, we've had some graphics designers as customers in the past. They need to be able to pull a monitor closer to them for very good reason, to see minute details in what they're designing. Well, you can do that now because we have a fully articulating arm. So you just grab your monitor, you can pull the monitor closer to you. It's around 20 centimeters. Sorry I don't have exact measurements on all this, but exact doesn't seem to really matter. You know, it's around 20 centimeters, but you can pull it closer to you. So even if, say, you're using the you've replaced your desk with the cockpit, you're using it for work, business, whatever, but also using it for gaming. You know, for work you might need to pull it closer to you. For gaming, whatever, you need it further back to go along with your triple mount, or just because you don't want it so close when you're gaming. You can do that now without getting out of your cockpit, moving the monitor stand, etc. But you can also turn it. If you have other people in your room, and you're like, hey, woman or whoever, wife or dude, look what I'm looking at. You can just turn it to them and show them. We've had some people request that over the years. You can also, I think at this height, right now I have the monitor at the lowest setting. It has 3 settings pre-drilled for low, middle, and high. At this setting, I might be able to clear this to show you. Yeah, I can do it. There we go. You got portrait. Some people out there, don't know why, they want to run portrait. It's not as wide of a viewing area, so I don't really recommend it. I recommend, if you're going to do more than one monitor, run it landscape. So I think, at least to me, what I've noticed what's more immersive is your peripheral view. But it can do it now. Also, it can tilt. You can tilt it. I don't know why anybody want to tilt it like that, but in making it tilt, we made it tilt that way too. But you can tilt it that way, and you can make it wherever you prefer it to be. And I prefer it to be a slight tilt, this height even. Just what I prefer, the way the monitor looks. But you can do it. And I think that's what's important, is you can do whatever you desire. At least what I think you can desire. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that desire something I haven't thought of. And sorry if we can't do that, but what can I say? I guess I can't think that far. So yeah, that's all, pretty much all the adjustability. Did I cover the seat? I think I covered the seat. No, I didn't cover the seat. The seat is maybe the last thing. See, I thought the last thing was that, then it was this and that. The seat moves just like in a car on sliders. There's a handle here, you pull the handle, no different than our cockpits we've been selling for years. It's adjustable by a lever here, obviously back and forth. You can go all the way, like, you know, back here to take a nap if you want, rest, stretch your back out, whatever. It's the same seats we've been using in our other cockpit, actually, with the only changes being the upholstery and some design in the upholstery. But most importantly, the suspension system we've changed to make it softer. The reason we did that was to make the seat feel really good right out of the box. You know, over the years, one of the biggest compliments we got is our seat, which kind of blew me away. But I mean, I find the seat comfortable. It's not that. But so we decided not to change the seat because it fits a pretty wide variety of people and sizes. You know, from heavy set people to small set people, etc. It is a sport seat though, and it's bolstered. So if you're a really heavy set person, say 300, 350, 400 pounds, you know, I can't tell you if you're going to fit and be comfy in it. I know that our customers that are 300 plus pounds, they're happy with it because I've talked to them, they all write me and whatever. So if you're a customer that's, you know, or a person that's 300 plus pounds, you know, it depends on where you put your weight on. If all your weight's down here, and you're like, you know, down here big, you know, I don't know if you're going to be comfy. The frame is stable enough and supportive enough. Don't worry, it's a real car seat. It's a really thick walled steel tubing frame. Now, whether having these bolsters that are flared open as opposed to straight up and down, or well, straight up and down would all be, they're flared open. All I can go by is customers of that size that I've dealt with, and they're cool with it. Cool thing though is if it doesn't fit you, man, you can go down to your local breakers or junkyard, whatever you call it, and find a normal car seat, yank it, pay the whatever $10 to the place that owns the junkyard for the seat, and if it doesn't bolt up directly, which it probably won't, it's really easy to make adapters to bolt it down to the frame, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. I mean, if you can work a hacksaw at least and a screwdriver or an Allen key, you know, and you have a Lowe's in town or a Home Depot, then you'll be fine. It's really not hard. So, you know, I'd give the seat a whirl though. It's comfy. Right out of the box now, it's comfy because it has this. It doesn't have a metal suspension system. It has a different kind of suspension system in it now. So right out of the box, you kind of just, when you sit down in it. The first time when I sat down in this one, I was just like, "Ooh, yes, this is good." Whereas before, when you first sat in our seats, it was kind of like, well, any seat. As soon as you first sit in it, you're kind of like, eh. But dude, after like, I don't know, 48 hours of actually sitting in it, it just fits you really well. Whereas this one, right out of the box, it feels good. Really pleased with the seat. Well, I think that's it as far as adjustability with this cockpit. Oh yeah, one other thing, where you bolt your seat to the frame, we stuck with the same thing as we did on the Obutto oZone, and that's, you can set it in a rear position or a forward seating position, where you bolt it down to the frame. I'm 6'2", of course I'm going to use the rear. I know with our past cockpit, most people use the rear because you can scoot the seat forward quite a bit. I mean, you can, here, let me find, I'm going to do this without putting my fingers down here. There. That is middle. There, that's middle. You can see from here, that's forward. So it moves quite a bit. But if you're like 5'5" or shorter, I'd say put it in the front, you can always scoot it back. Besides that, I think that's it. It covers all the adjustability of the cockpit. And you know, if you have bought one of these from us, purchased one, I know you're going to like it, just like I knew all the guys that bought our last cockpit were going to like it. And I just want to say thanks for your support. If you're on the fence or thinking about it, whatever, I don't know, I just couldn't recommend it more to you guys to use, because, you know, whether it's this cockpit or our last cockpit, it's a hell of a lot better than using a desk for a computer. Thanks for your time, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.